Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready, joined by Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market. Caroline McCready joins from Fayetteville, getting ready for a test. She's got some dance teaching tonight, turning the page from Halloween to getting ready for the holidays, recitals. So we got stuff going on there as well. Huge weekend in Oxford this weekend. Basically a national playoff game. The Georgia Bulldogs ranked second in the country. I keep going third. They're second in the country, headed to Oxford to play Ole Miss. The Rebels up to number 16, but the rankings really don't matter. It's a win and advance or lose and you're done game for Ole Miss. So we'll talk about that and more in a moment. First, I want to tell you that we're brought to you each and every week by Greg and the people at LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. Listen, if you're coming in this weekend, it's going to be an absolute zoo. If you don't already have a reservation, you're not getting one. And so you can make it a lot easier if you got an Airbnb, if you're staying with some friends, if you're living here locally, man, go to LB's, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. They got all the freshest cuts: beef, chicken, pork, house-made sausages, seafood, everything, ribs, whatever it is you're looking for, they've got it at LB's. The stuffed mushrooms, the stuffed jalapenos, the bacon-wrapped asparagus, twice-baked potatoes, lots and lots of great stuff at LB's Meat Market. You can call, obviously. They'll take your call. They'll talk to you. If you don't want to talk to somebody, you just want to text in an order, you can do that too and save 10%. 662-259-2999. Text that number. Tell Greg and the people, hey, here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I want. Here's what time I'd like to pick it up, and go from there. Save 10% on your order.
I had a customer that in the middle of doing surgery text their order into LB's. That's how easy it was.
Wow. What kind of surgery?
I think he does knees and yeah. So he was like on his fifth one. And he was like, I need to text LB's, and like literally was like, it was done in 1 second. So, and he got 10% off. It was, and he got every steak that he wanted. I took a picture of the ribeye tray. He literally, took a finger and, pointed out which ones he wanted. So, I mean, it's real simple.
Service with the smile at LB's.
Try our best.
Caroline, how are you?
Good. I'm tired. I'm been studying all day, and I was up late last night. So.
Yeah, we're taping this on Wednesday. It's we all have a little election coverage, post-election coverage fatigue. I was up super late. Caroline was up pretty late. Greg, did you stay up watching election stuff?
No, I watched the 2004 comeback Red Sox on Netflix. That was a little 3-part series that lasted like 3.5 hours. So, and then I got done with it at like 1 o'clock, and I was like, surely they're not going to, I'm pretty sure I went to sleep knowing that he was going to win, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck of a political story. One amazing political story. Speaking of great stories, you guys have quite the race going on here in the 5th annual LB's Cup. Greg, you want the good news or the bad news first?
No, I like the bad news first.
All right. I was hoping you'd say good news. All right. Bad news first. Bad news first is Caroline made up a game. Good news, you had a good week.
I think I had a good week.
You did. You went 5-3.
Yeah.
Caroline.
I haven't had that's the key to this game. You just can't have a bad week.
You just can't you can't butcher.
Like a 2-7, you can't do a 2-8, you can't do and then you start digging yourself that hole and you're like, oh, okay, I can get out of this real quick in 1 week.
You went 5-3. Caroline went 6-2. Caroline had a huge week. So you're both. Here's the great news: if people are just watching this show, and I mean, I know there are people out there that neither one of them know a lot of football, and I'm like, yeah, but they're both making money. They're both above 500, and there are a lot of people that I know who know a lot of football who are under 500 on picks. Greg's not. He's 49-44, 5 games over 500. Caroline 48-45, 3 games over 500, 1 game back in the loss column. Y'all are both making money. It's
Yeah.
It's a hell of
All
it's
you
a
got to
hell
do
of a
is just
race.
stay at a Holiday Inn Express, and you're good for the season.
That's right. That's right. All right. You know the rules, Caroline. You won the week. Means you get to go first. We only have 6 games this week. Only 6 games that meet the criteria for the Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. So here we go. We start off in Austin, Texas at 11 a.m. on ABC. It's the Florida Gators coming off of a pretty good performance in a loss to Georgia. They go to Texas to play the Horns. Florida, Caroline, is a 22-point underdog.
I'm going to go with Florida.
You're going to take the points, okay? All right. Greg, she's going to take the Gators.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I mean, if that quarterback doesn't go down, I think it might be a different story. But I mean, what a brutal schedule for that Florida team, and I hate for somebody's job to get cost because of that schedule. But I mean, they've been competitive in every game. I feel like, and I feel like 22 points is a big enough number they can stay in with it.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are both going to go Gators. Take the 22. I haven't decided what I think about that game. I'm not crazy about Texas right now. There's something about Texas that I'm like, all right. The big game. It's in Oxford. It's a national. I mean, it's one of two huge SEC games this weekend, and for Ole Miss, it's make or break. It's simple as that. Ole Miss plays host to Georgia. It's 2:30 on ABC. The Bulldogs rank 2nd. The Rebels rank 16th. Georgia, Greg, is a 3-point favorite in Oxford.
Yeah, I got to go with the Rebs here. I mean, I know they've. I don't know if they wanted to be in this position with a make or break, and when you looked at the schedule. But hey, look, you got to this point. You handle business in Fayetteville, so I mean, why not run the table and just roll the dice with the committee? I'm just nervous if they do roll the dice and win out. I don't know if they get in with two wins, 2 losses or not. So I would hate for them to run the table and beat a Georgia and Florida and State and them not get in. So I'm just hoping and praying they can win out and just see what happens at the end of the story.
I think they would get in if they went out. Question is, will they win out? And this is the big test, Caroline. Greg's going to take Ole Miss and 3 points. What about you?
I'm going to take Georgia.
You took Ole Miss last week and you got it right. You've been pretty good on the Ole Miss games. You're like me a little bit here. This is that deal where people are like, why are you picking Georgia? And my answer is very simple. Because for basically 4.5 years, unless it's Alabama on the other side, they just win. And so I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Now, if it was a 6:30 game, I would probably I would think Georgia would be a little bit nervous, but the 2:30 game, it's tough.
Should be a hell of
to side with Lane on the night games, but I just feel like Ole Miss should get at least one SEC night game.
Yeah. It's such a weird deal with the TV and the way that they look at games and stuff, and it's complicated. We've talked about it a lot on MPW over the course of the season. And I'm kind of all over the place on it. I understand why fans feel the way they do. I understand why Lane feels the way he does. Completely get it. I've heard enough from the TV people to sort of understand how things get slotted, and so I understand that too. And so I'm Switzerland.
Yeah, it is what it is.
All right, Caroline, we go to Nashville next. It's South Carolina coming off that big win over Texas A&M. They go to Vanderbilt, who's coming off a big win at Auburn, one that you correctly predicted. Both of you did, as a matter of fact. 3:15 SEC Network. South Carolina. Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite at Vanderbilt.
I'm going to go with Vanderbilt.
Okay. Doors have been red hot. They've gone from being a cute little story to a pretty good football team over the course of a few weeks. All right, Greg, she's going to take the Doors and get 2.5 at home.
Man, this is a sneaky, really good game. I hope now that Trump's already got all the electoral votes, he'll transfer Alabama's electoral votes to Pavia, since he beat Alabama and Auburn. So that'd be a nice gesture.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Vanderbilt too. I think it's just they just play different.
Yeah, they do. All right, Greg, stay in the state of Tennessee. We're just going to go east a little bit to Knoxville. It is Tennessee playing host to the Mississippi State Bulldogs. This game at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Mississippi State, Greg, is a 23-point underdog.
Man, I'll take Tennessee. I mean, wow, it's a big number.
Yeah, it's a big number. All right, Caroline, Greg is going to take Tennessee. He's going to lay the points. Mississippi State has covered some big lines. They've also not covered a line most recently against Arkansas. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Okay, both going with the Vols, laying the points. All right. All right, the next big game of the week is at LSU, Baton Rouge. Night game, Tiger Stadium. Chance of some rain with the tropical storm and all that stuff. It's Alabama, the Crimson Tide with 2 losses, ranked 11th in the country. At LSU, the Tigers 2 losses, ranked 14th in the country. The loser of this game, done for the playoffs. The winner has a pretty clear path to the playoff. It's 6:30 ABC. Like I said, Alabama, Caroline, Alabama is a 2-point favorite at LSU.
I'm going to go with LSU on this one.
Okay. All right. Doing the home team, LSU at night, Tiger Stadium, Garrett Nussmeier, the whole deal. All right, Greg, she's going to go Tigers and get 2 points at home.
I've been seeing that high tide commercial, where he says high tide instead of roll tide. So I'm going to take the high tide, and I'll take the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Okay,
it's just like an omen. I don't know. That commercial's been popping up, and the other part of commercial is the guy brings the duck to the tailgate, and it was an Oregon tailgating party. So it's like know your customer before you go to the tailgate.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good one.
So yeah, it's like high tide or the guy. So I'm gonna take the roll tide, and hopefully Alabama shows up this weekend.
All right, one last game. It's SEC. It's Oklahoma coming off their win over Maine. I think, Caroline, this is where y'all might have had the difference. I think Greg went with Maine to cover the line, and I think you said Oklahoma would cover it, and they did. Oklahoma now goes to Columbia, Missouri. They play the Missouri Tigers. This is 6:45 on SEC Network. Greg, Oklahoma's a 2.5-point road underdog.
I'm gonna take Oklahoma. Just still kind of bitter about that Buffalo, Missouri Buffalo game.
This is what's interesting with Missouri is they started off the season such high hopes. Now they're Brady Cook, the quarterback, probably out, maybe for the rest of the season, certainly out this week. They haven't looked good with the backup, but Oklahoma's been pretty mid all year. All right, Caroline, Greg's going to take Oklahoma and get 2.5 in Como.
I'll take Oklahoma too.
Both going Sooners. I think that's the direction I go to. It kind of feels like a spot for OU. All right, so recapping, both Greg and Caroline taking Florida plus the 22 at Texas. Caroline is taking Georgia, laying the points at Ole Miss. Greg taking the Rebels and the points. It's a 3-point line. In Oxford, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt, both Greg and Caroline taking Vanderbilt and the points. Both Greg and Caroline taking Tennessee and laying 23 at home against Mississippi State. Got a difference in Alabama LSU. Greg going with the Crimson Tide, laying 2 points on the road. Caroline taking the home-standing Tigers. And then both Greg and Caroline taking Oklahoma and getting 2.5 at Columbia. I know, Greg, kind of what your plans are for the weekend. Caroline, what about you? Probably enjoying a quiet weekend finally?
Yeah, I'm so excited for nothing this weekend. So I'm just going to chill.
Okay.
So we don't have a game.
Yeah. Play the quiet game. That's play the quiet game for me. I love going. After getting done with work and just going home and just not saying anything for a solid hour or two. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Greg,
I went to my reunion and man, it was pretty wild. Kids running. Oh yeah, man, kids running around. People. Adults drinking in red cups, and it was like a it's like an Ole Miss. It was like the Grove in the end zone at MRA. It was pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Oh, good. Everybody look like it. Did you recognize it?
Yeah, I mean, everybody looks. I mean, like they. I mean, we've got good water supply in Madison County, so that's we're all lucky with the good water supply in Madison County.
All right, Greg, you will not get to play the quiet game this weekend. For people that want to get in touch with you to make LBs a part of their Georgia at Ole Miss weekend, how do they do it?
Yeah, just text the order. It's really easy. We just say 4 fillets, 2 ribeyes, 6 mushrooms, and time. That usually helps us out. But we're going to be doing lane trains. I've got a larger lane train this weekend. So I actually went to a local steakhouse the other night, and their 8-ounce fillet was $42, and so you can get 2 8-ounce bacon wrap fillets for $40 at LB's. So it's whatever you want to do. If you want to, like you were saying, if you got your VBRO this weekend and want to enjoy yourself and have a good meal, and then be rejuvenated for that early morning Grove, and because it's going to be a long day, especially if Ole Miss wins. That 2:00 game is going to last till about 2:00 in the morning, but with all the partying. So hopefully the Revs have a good weekend, and LB's has a good weekend, and give a shout out to all our customers that have come, and fought the traffic. I know it's tough to deal with, and whenever where the traffic is, but making an LB as part of your trip has really been thankful, and we're just thankful for everything that we've got going on right now, and hopefully it's a big weekend.
Yeah, definitely be a big weekend in Oxford. Please make LBs a part of it. Again, 662-259-2999. So that does it for this episode of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. We'll be back next week. Ole Miss is off, but we'll have a slate of games. We'll pick them here on the big show. So Caroline, have a great weekend. Greg, you do the same. For Caroline McCready, for Greg Jones, I'm Neil McCready. Until next week, take care.